Good afternoon internet and welcome back to the channel. So it is the 27th of March. It's a Thursday afternoon, and for once we have some half decent weather. So I thought to myself, I've got to get out on the bike. If you remember, I balanced the front wheel on this and it was out of balance. I thought it was. So I thought to myself, I've got to get out, I've got to give it a test run. So here we go. Now it's not going to be a very long one, due to the fact that I've had tons of stuff to do. It's just horrible, isn't it? You know, when the weather's pretty rubbish, you end up having nothing to do. And then when the weather's like this, like yesterday was a lovely day. In fact, yesterday was better than today. It was really nice and warm, but I had such a lot to do yesterday that going out on the bike it just wasn't feasible. And like tomorrow, unfortunately in the morning I've got to go and have my physio, and then in the afternoon I've got my daughter's got a delivery coming of a swing set, and it's a curbside delivery. Well, she ain't got a curb, but you know what I mean. So I've got to be there and we've got to get in. So of course, you know, that's the best part of the day sort of gone with them two. And this morning I was all tied up this morning. Actually today started off really well, you know. Got up and, you know, you see the sunlight and you think, oh, that's a bonus, because we've been getting up to like grey skies and rain, and it's just been absolutely horrible. I mean, it really has. So, you know, you get up and it looks nice and bright, and just that alone just makes you feel, yeah, okay, this is getting better, you know. And but like I said, the day started off really well this morning, and then I had this meeting which unfortunately I can't disclose much of this, but and I know it's all this cloak and dagger stuff, and I really do apologise, because I try to be as open as I can, you know, but sometimes you just, you know, you just have to sort of keep things close to your chest, which I've got to do for the time being, but all will be revealed sooner or later. But anyway, so I had this meeting, and yeah, like I said, it ended up being, you know, you're on a high and you think, yeah, everything's great, and then all of a sudden you just feel like life's kicking you back down. You seem to take, you know, one step forward and 3 steps back, but hey ho, you've got to think positive, haven't you? I've always said that if you actually look around in this world that we live in, especially the state of it now, it doesn't matter how bad off you think you are, there's always people so much worse. So yeah, a kick in the teeth could always be pick yourself up and start again. Anyway, okay, so back to the bike. Right, so front wheel balanced, and yeah, it certainly made a difference, you know. I mean, I won't say it stopped all the vibration, but this is a single cylinder bike, you know. Royal Enfield have gone to quite extreme lengths, you know. The foot pegs, the front foot pegs are all rubber mounted and that. So, you know, a single cylinder bike, you are going to get vibration. It's as simple as that. So, but there was an excessive wobble there, an excessive vibration, which niggled me ever since I've owned this bike. And as you know, if you watch the video, I'll whip the wheel off, and sure enough, it was out of balance by quite a lot actually. So job done, balancing done, and yeah, it's definitely made a difference, which is really nice. There's a load of I'm getting absolutely hit by bugs. There's loads of them around. I don't know what they are, only little things, but they're a bit hard. Still, never mind, eh? But yeah, so, you know, the bike, it's running nice. It really is running nice. Now of course it brings me back again and I gotta say this, it brings me back again to the tyres. Now this is an ongoing thing. Now I've got to point out, right, which I normally do, but when I praise something up, or I criticise something, or I'm dubious of something on this channel, it's my personal opinion, yeah? And that's really important, because at the end of the day, we all have our preferences in life, you know? I mean, you might get up in the morning and like toast for breakfast. The next person might get up and like cornflakes for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? You know, some people like black bikes, some people like white bikes. And we've all, that's what life's about, you know? If we all thought the same, life would be so much boring. So we all have got our own preferences in life, and so the opinions that I give on this channel are really my personal opinion. Now, okay, I run a YouTube channel and I'm open for scrutiny, and I get that, you know, but that doesn't mean to say that my opinion of something, because I like something, should be questioned or brought into question. And basically someone left me a comment the other day saying that and he mentioned another YouTuber, Ian Hughes, and Ian rides, he's got the same bike as me, you know, he rides in all sorts of weathers and God knows what else, unlike me, because, you know, I'm a bit of a pussy boy when it comes to that, you know. I don't wet ride, not unless I really have to, not unless I'm caught out in it. If it's raining, I don't go out anyway. But fair play to Ian, he does, you know, and he rides in some right mucky conditions, you know, muddy roads and all that. And so this gentleman that left me a comment said, well, you know, Ian Hughes rides in all sort of conditions, and you go on about your tyres. And well, yeah, you know, I suppose I do, but of course when I go on about the tyres, what you got to remember is, I always say, and I try to make it really clear, that I've always fitted Michelin again. And let's get this, you know, this is the bit that's important. I fit Michelin tyres because I like Michelin tyres, yeah, I always have done, you know. And every motorcycle that I've owned for the past, I don't want to even think about it, a long time, and you know, and I've toured for thousands of miles, have been on Michelin tyres, and they've never ever let me down, never. In the wet, in the dry, it's made no odds, you know. I like Michelin tyres. I think you all know now that I like Michelin tyres. And so I'm not knocking the factory tyres, right? I just don't like them as much as I like Michelin, and that is my choice, you know. And that's where it comes down to, that we all have our own choices. So there you go. I just thought I'd clarify that. I'm not endorsing Michelin. I don't get paid by Michelin. I wish I did. Hey, if they want to send me a check, that's fine. But I don't think for 1 minute they will. You know, like I said, it's basically what you trust, you know. And I like Michelin tyres. I don't particularly being like stuck behind a tractor, especially one that's been muck spreading, or is gonna go muck spreading, and stinks to absolute high heaven. But this one does absolutely reek. But you know, the joys of living in the countryside. Now I've just realised again, and I'm really good at doing this lately, that I have not turned on my front camera. So you know what, I'm going to turn on my front camera, I'm just going to pull up here a bit anyway, because that's a, oh, where's he? I'm trying to lose this tractor, but I don't know where he's going actually. He's got, oh, I thought he was going my way, but he's not. Right, hang on a sec, I'm just going to go down here. And I'm just going to pull up here a minute. And I'm going to put on this camera, as I keep saying. Right, now I should be able to do this, I think, with my glove on, because I've got... Oh. I'm not too sure if I've actually put that on, or I haven't put that on. Do you know what? I'm going to have to just stop here for, well, I am stopped. I do believe that's recording. Well, anyway, we'll see when we get home, eh? I don't know. Right. Okay. Now, like I said, I haven't got too much time, so I really must stop faffing around. So this is Plozzy Vet that I've stopped in now, but I'm sure that you've all been here before with me a few times, many times probably, and as in Mrs. Hey, I can always find neutral. I thought, considering that I don't have like loads of time, it's gotta be a bit of a whiz round the sea, eh? I gotta see the sea. In actual fact, thinking about it, I should have gone the other way really. I should have gone the other way and come across the coast road that way. Huh? Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Mind ya, who cares? As long as I can get to the sea, or some part of it, I don't mind. Right, okay. Okay, so again, getting back to this, my front tyre, it's oh, a couple of bikes out here, eh? You can tell. Yeah, balancing it, excellent. It just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, you know, brand new bike, you would expect the balancing to be better, wouldn't you? You really would. It's not hard, is it? You know, if I can make a difference with a little bit of, you know, stuff that I've got, which is not technical at all, is it? It's one of them stand-up balancing machines, you know, if you've watched the video, and you know, it just shouldn't be difficult, should it? It should be, you know, they should come out the factory and you know, I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to sort of do it myself and, you know, get it running better, which is absolutely great. But there's going to be a lot of people that don't do that, you know, so they're either going to think, oh my god, this don't feel right, or they're going to, you know, I mean, okay, I suppose you could take it back to the dealer, but having said that, you know, is the dealer going to, is that even under warranty work balancing? I don't suppose it is, I don't know. Would anybody even do that, or would they simply just take it into any bike shop and say, I got a wobble? And if you say that, then I'm sure in this day and age someone's going to try and make, oh you know, this has gone and that's gone, and before you know it, you end up paying a fortune. And it's sad to even think like that, you know. I got to be honest, it really is. But unfortunately, that seems to be what happens these days, you know. It's, I don't know. See, it does seem a shame that the world that we live in has come to something like that. But it seems to be that wherever you look in the world these days, that, you know, there's problems and trouble, and I don't know what happened to the good old days where, do you know, I was talking to someone, I think it was last week, about Ted Simons. You know, Ted Simons from Jupiter's Travel back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, definitely the 70s, and he travelled round the world on a Triumph. And I've read the book. In fact, I've had the honour of meeting Ted Simons. A really, really nice gentleman he was. And you know, you sort of look at the trip that he did, and you know, I mean, it's unbelievable that he managed to do that trip. Do you know what? I think we might be. Oh, hang on a sec. I was going to go down here, but I can't. They've changed the road round here, didn't it? So that could have been a mistake. Anyway, so he did that trip, and it was fantastic. You know, he had so much experience, you know, hospitality in the different countries, and you know, I mean, it was just fantastic the way. And then he did it a few years later. I think he was in his late 50s or something, and he said how the world has changed, you know. And it has, you know. I mean, there's so many countries now that it would be lovely to go to, but unfortunately it's, you know, it's just not safe. And isn't it a shame that you have to consider these things, you know? You have to try and work out the fact that, is it safe to do a trip? Is it safe to go to this country? Or, you know, I don't know. And yet the ironic thing about it is, we're all human beings, aren't we? You know, it doesn't matter what religion you are, what colour you are, should have nothing and play no part in it. You know, it doesn't or shouldn't give anybody else the right to sort of criticise you. And but unfortunately, that's exactly what happens, you know. And yeah. Anyway, such is life, eh? As they say. Well, there's the sea now. The GoPro ain't going to pick that up, I don't think. But yeah, I can see it. I'm just trying to think to which part this is going to bring me out. Any marvellous, eh? You know, you get this bit of nice weather comes. I don't know what the temperature is. What is it now? So I say 19 degrees at the moment, so about 16, which is about right. I think our top temperature today, I think, is 17. Yesterday it was 19 here. Great. Which is, oh, it's just fantastic, isn't it, eh? Absolutely. Well, I was just about to go past him, but I don't know why there's a 30 sign here, so I better behave. But only for so long. I'm not exactly breaking the world speed record, am I? But look at that. I mean, you know, not a cloud in the sky. It'd be absolutely beautiful. Hopefully we'll go on to better things and better weather. So I'm just trying to think where this is going to bring me out. I think it's more or less where I want to go to, which would be really cool if it is. At least I've lost the muck spreading tractor. That's one good thing, I suppose. Well, there's the sea, look. A beautiful ocean. Oh, absolutely gorgeous, eh? I never ever get fed up of riding around here. I never do. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I've got this absolute beautiful passion for the sea. I really have. I sort of know where I am. Oh, yeah, great pudding head. I wanted to go there. It's alright, I've approached it from a different side there, that's why. At least I called myself a pudding head. Right, hang on. We'll do a bit of a show. The tide's welling anyway, hey? Look at that. Welling. We'll turn it round in a car park. Right. Them trees brought down there, okay, from the storm. Right, state, innit, Look at that. Glistering away there, look, isn't it beautiful, Look at that. I hope the GoPro's doing that proud, Don't that look absolutely beautiful, No boats there though yet. That little harbour there, which Paul's Pull on, that is, it gets some real bad weather there because it's such a tight bit coming in it. Like the waves there can be really sort of detrimental, and the little boats that they keep there can take a right belting. So some bugs there I just went through all over the place. I think one's just on me. Hang on, I don't like bugs at the best of time. I'm not a buggy sort of person. I do not like bugs. Okay, so this is the road that I wanted to get on. I absolutely, this is my round here, this is one of my favourite views in a minute. I absolutely love this view, and I know I've done it many times before, but when you've only got a couple of hours to go out for a ride and it's sort of late-ish in the day anyway, this, you know, I just want to go somewhere that I enjoy. So yeah, there you go, and here it is. You just go over this little bit here, and it's, I think this is spectacular, I mean, come on, look at that, just look at that, isn't that absolutely and utterly beautiful, It's just breathtaking. Well, it would be if I had the visor. Do you know, there's a, you ain't going to get this on the GoPro, but there's one surf, I don't know if you see that geezer, there's a surfer there, like. So, fair play to him, Now that'd be the place to live. I say that all the time, that house would do me. Well, actually, I don't know, because this does get a bit busy in the summer. No, but the surfers are getting back, look, here we go, Fair play to him. He's out there. You ain't going to see him now. Aye, got his open top sports car, His MG, fair play to the nice one. Isn't it marvellous, this sunshine? It only needs a bit of sunshine, and it brings everybody out. It changes things, doesn't it? Makes you that little bit happier. Lovely jubbly. I mean, this is a beautiful coastline along here. The Brittany coastline, you know, I've got to be honest, is absolutely gorgeous. It really is, you know. It's just the fact that where I am in Finisterre, and I know I keep saying this, but we get too much rain. I mean, it drives you up the wall. Last year was awful, absolutely awful. It really was. It just didn't stop, you know. Our summer. So this is Pluie Neck we're coming into. Yeah, our summer last year, really bad. Which I'm hoping this year is going to be so much different. And we have this stupid stop thing. Have you ever seen it? I'll tell you something, some of these roads, look at this. We're on the main road, and I know I say this every time I come here, but you know, you have to stop for a track look, and that, I mean, why? Why? You got to ask yourself that question, haven't you? Why? This, oh, someone's had a bit of a clean out there. Whoever thought that it was a good idea for cars to have priority over the main road, I don't know. Still, never mind. The day's too nice to worry about trivial things like that. That's all I can say. They built some new houses here, look. Still doing that one by the look of it. You have the man here with his blower. Now, I'm not too sure what this bloody idiot's doing here. You know, I mean, come on. Do you know, I really don't think there's anything worse than these stupid leads that let your dog run meters in front of you, like him there. You know, he had no control over his dog, so I just think it's pathetic. I really do. You know, if you're going to be an owner of an animal, be a responsible one, and you can't, like that there, that dog was in the middle of the road. I mean, you know, okay, it's a quiet road, I get that, and probably won't cause any problem at all, but it might, and that's the difference. There's always the might factor, you know. We're doing a bits of work all over the place at the moment. Not too sure what though. They're digging something up over there, look. It's nice to get the visor up a little bit and just get, I like a flow of air, I always do, but there's so many bugs around today. I'm not too sure why. Mind ya, I suppose like me, they want to get out in the sunshine, so why not? Who am I to say? They've got as much right as me to be out. I just wish they wouldn't keep flying into me. So I'm just thinking this year, anybody got any trips planned? Nice exciting bike trips, camping trips? I mean, it's now it's the time to plan, eh? Unfortunately for me, I mean, yeah, I've got a couple of things that I want to do this year, but I'm going to be tied up this year, and sort of just trying to squeeze a family on a holiday in. He's going to be pushing it. So bike trips, I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely going up to see Pete. Well, yeah, it's not hopefully, we are. You know, we'll make that happen. We was going to do it last year, but we fighting our way through the rain. I'm afraid we never actually got there. But yeah, it's I've got a really busy year ahead, and I'll be able to show you guys sooner or later to exactly what it's all about. I just, at the moment, it's all a bit hush hush, a bit top secret, eh? Do you know, I know this is nothing to do with this. This is a totally different subject, but I'm good at switching things. So you can, when you do a YouTube thing, you can, if you're into this, you can go in and you can see who views you and how many, obviously, you know, how many views you've had and where people are and how long they watch for and all different bits and pieces. I find most of it quite boring. You know, I'm not that bothered, to be honest, but the one bit is I've always been a huge believer, and this has gone back years now, about, you know, women riding their own bikes. You know, I think it's really nice, because, you know, years ago, like, well, back in the 60s, 70s, when I started riding, women really were sort of passengers. You know, they were pillions, you know. In fact, I personally, when I was younger, never knew anyone, a lady that is, that had their own bike. But of course, as things have evolved, you know, as in a lot of things, you know, there's so many women these days on motorbikes, and it's really nice. You know, I think it's great. Let's face it, some of them do some marvellous things. I mean, I know the one always that strikes me is Nora Lee, you know, Itchy Boots. You know, I mean, she does some marvellous things. Anyway, but it's ever so strange, because it tells you on your channel, you know, whether it's women that watch you or men that watch you, or a mixed bag to the percentage. But you know what, mine is 100% male, absolutely 100% male. And it's strange really, because, you know, obviously women now participate, but they don't seem to watch many of the YouTube channels now. I don't know if that's the same for everyone, you know, or the YouTubers that are out there doing the thing. Be interesting to know. But certainly for me, I don't have any of the ladies. So come on, ladies, show a bit of support, you know. It won't hurt, will it? So this is Odeon that we're coming into now. We're just going to have a ride through it, and then I'll probably just stop by the side, and I think we'll probably call it a day. Or in actual fact, we could do a once round and then maybe come back. I don't know, we'll see. Well, there was roadworks on this bridge last week, so they've finished. That's for certain. You know, it's still funny with these bikes. They don't like low revs. They really don't like low revs. In fact, I'd almost go to say they're pretty rubbish in low revs. They're I don't know how you sort of describe these bikes. They're certainly, when Royal Enfield bought this out, it was a whole different thing. You know, even to the 450 Himalayan, which obviously the engine's the same as this, but the gearing and the mapping, I would think, is what makes the difference. But it's certainly, it's you've got to get it right at low revs. You know, you've got to be really, really gentle, because see, it can be quite sort of jerky at low revs, which I don't know, maybe, you know, because this isn't fully running at the moment. Well, I don't class it as fully running. I mean, this has done 1,336 kilometres now, so well, it's not far off it, but I can't see it getting that much more loose, really. See, when you just increase the revs a bit, it's fine, but it doesn't, I don't know, it's just got a bit of a funny way at really low revs, but still, never mind. I mean, it picks up really quick, see, if you want it to. There we go. So I think we'll probably swing it round down here, go back through the village, and then I'll head on home, because I'm just looking at the time. We're getting all the car parks ready, eh, for the tourist season, which of course starts in Easter. Let's hope that the rain does it justice and starts to be nice at the same time, eh? God, I wish they'd do this road here. I say this every time, but yeah, I just wish they would. Pain in the backside, this is. Okay, little boat coming in across there, look. So there's Odeon, eh? Nice little fishing village. Well, it's more touristy now. There are fisher, you know, it still is a professional got its professional side, but it's more touristy than anything else, to be fair, these days. Did somebody put the crossing in the wrong place? Oh dear, I wouldn't be surprised. See, that's the professional bit across there, yeah? It's where all the fish is unloaded and distributed, so... And that's the lifeboat across there, that red and green one, see it? the old lobster pots on the side. I used to have some lobster pots when I had my boat. I used to have some lobster pots, and I remember I had two. Did I have two or three? I don't know. I had two at least. No, it was two I had. I had three, that's it, but the one was no good. And I always remember dropping them, you know, because you drop them at the low tide, and then you sort of leave them a day, do the 2 tide cycle, and then go and get them in, and hopefully, you know, you've got crabs and lobsters and God knows what else. And I like both, you know, they're nice. And unfortunately for me, I didn't get in it. Not a sausage. And I forget what it is that you're putting them there, but I put something in there to entice them in, but I'm afraid it didn't catch me a damn thing. See, this to me, this is where these bikes let themselves down. That when you're on the roads and you're sort of going, they're fine, you know. But when you're stopping and starting, it's this up and down the box continuously. I don't know. I mean, it's no big deal, I get that. But where, like, for instance, say like now you can get, you know, get the throttle open, and she's sound, you know. But when you're doing that slow, you know, in traffic and that, I find them to be quite jumpy. I really do. I mean, when I changed the air filter, I mean, it's made a difference to the normal running like this. I was hoping it might have smoothed out the low rev things, but it hasn't, which you know, which is a bit sad, really. That would be the only criticism of this bike that I'd have. I love the bike, you know. I mean, I do. I think it's great. But I do wish that the engine was mapped maybe slightly different. I don't know how the 450 Himalayan handles. I would think, because they're sort of doing that as like an off-roady sort of thing, so you would sort of guess that with it going a bit slower, you know, especially if you're off-road, that you wouldn't have that problem. So it's obviously down to the mapping. I quite happily lose a bit of speed on the lower revs just to get it a bit more smoothish. Again, that's my thought. Be interesting to see what other people think of them at low revs. Is it just my bike? I don't think so. I doubt that. I read something as well. I can't even remember what site this was on. I got an idea it was the Facebook site for these, and someone said over 110 kilometers an hour he feels like the bike is sort of weaving and that. Well, I got to be honest, I don't often go over 110 kilometers an hour, because that is our fastest speed limit around here in the Breton. Even our motorways is only 110, but obviously, you know, there have been times maybe that I might just but I find them handle really well, you know. I think they're great little bikes. For me, like I keep saying, the only thing for me is this low ref situation. I think it could be better, I really do. When I take mine in for its next service, I'm going to say to them, look, you know, is this, you know, does this need tweaking or something? You know, maybe this, I don't know, maybe something's not quite right with this. I don't think so, because it runs excellent, you know. One thing that I have noticed with it, again, but I've read this a couple of times, if you've got it on tick over and you look at your rev counter, it tends to fluctuate a bit. Now, is that the rev counter? You know, hard to say. Could be the rev counter, might not be the rev counter, who knows. It sounds like I'm being very picky today, doesn't it? But I'm not. I'm just, you know, I'm enjoying the ride and enjoying the chat. Well, I am anyway. Hopefully you guys are as well. There you go. Oh. I hit green and went one up and got red again. I'm on about the speed, by the way. Look at that. You can always tell when the weather's getting better here, because everybody in the day throws the quilts out the window to air them out. And I'm not 100% about that, you know. I'm sorry. Yes, airing things out is hugely important, you know, and I'm all for it. I really am. But I do find it a bit strange that if you throw your quilt out the window, especially like round here and all that, I mean, you've got the cars, you've got the dust, you've got the bugs. I don't know. We personally don't do it. We don't put our quilts out. Nah. I'm afraid we open the window and have the shutters down with just the air gaps in, you know, and it gets a nice airflow. That's fine. Again, personal choice, eh? You know, someone might bring in that quilt and think to themselves, yes, the smell of fresh air, and gives them a relaxed sleep. Others, on the other hand, might pull it in and think, God blimey, that stinks of diesel, and then halfway through the night it's covered in bugs. Again, who knows? Who cares? Do they care? Do I care? Not really. You see, this is where this bike runs beautiful, and it does. There's no two ways about it. Especially now I've got my balancing sorted, but you know, it just, I mean, 80 is our limit, yeah. So, but I mean, she runs really nice, you know, really nice. We've got a few clouds creeping in. I don't think there's anything major going to happen, but we do have clouds creeping in. You can feel as you're riding through a bit, like for instance now there's a cloud covering the sun, and you can feel the temperature take that little bit of a dive, you know. Toy Peak. We're in Toy Peak. There was an English family used to live round here, and I haven't seen them around for a long time. I'm trying to think where it is. Well, in fact, I think it's back there. I think we've passed them now. But oh no, it's up here. I haven't seen them for some time. They were quite elderly, and That was the house there, we just passed it. Looks a bit like it's gone down the dumps a bit. Right, always used to be immaculate. Coming up to the local horse riding centre. Made my eyes run, I had to shut the visor. Now, I love that airflow, but you know, sometimes because the air is still obviously still chilly, it ain't warmed up that much. Makes your eyes run quite a bit. Getting all the boats ready, look, to get back out, everyone for the summer. So back into Plozzy Vet. The horses there, look, see them? Only young ones them are. I have to put my visor up again. A second-hand shop there. Do you know, I'll tell you one of the things that I miss from the UK. Hang on a sec, I'll just check my battery. I don't think I've got much left. One of the things that I miss from the UK is car boot sales. I do like a nice car boot. I used to love going to the big ones. I used to go to one in Breen, which is down by Weston, and they used to do a massive one there every weekend. I used to love it, I really did. Great. But alas, the French aren't exactly known for their car boots. There are some, not round here. Round here is absolutely awful for them. It doesn't happen, you know. But yeah, I like a good car boot. Car boot in the market, eh? Get some right good bargains. Even their second-hand shops, to be honest with you, a lot of it is rubbish that nobody else wants, and it saves taking it to the tip. But they still want a fortune for it, which really makes me laugh, it does. I paid 50 quid for, well, 50 euro for this 20 years ago, and I'm selling it and I want 45 because it still works. There's no, it's just, oh, crazy. Aye. Well, there's still plenty of bugs around, I'll tell you that for nothing. Woo! Wonder what they're knocking something down here. That used to be a, I forget what it was now, but anyway, they've certainly stripped it right down to the metal framework, eh? Another bang on the helmet. There's bugs are us today, dearie me. My wife at work there, Captain Cook, God bless her, working away to a little heart's content, hopefully. couple of fellow riders out. God, something stinks. Bit of muck spreading, eh? Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up, that will be absolutely brilliant. And hopefully you've got this nice weather. Hopefully it's going to stay with us all. And I'll see you all in the next video. Yeah, take care, bye for now.